Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, today is another creepy book club review. So we're going to be talking about our September pick, which is We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. If you don't know, I feel like I talk about it so much, but really probably not enough. I have a book club over on Goodreads. It's called Creepy Book Club. The link is always in the description. We read a book each month of the horror variety, and so this is our September pick. Like I said, We Sold Our Souls, Grady Hendrix. Every morning, Chris Pulaski wakes up in hell. In the 1990s, she was lead guitarist of Dirkwerk, a heavy metal band on the brink of a breakout success until lead singer Terry Hunt embarked on a solo career and rocketed to stardom, leaving his bandmates to rot in obscurity. Now Chris works as a night manager of a Best Western. She's tired, broke, and unhappy. Then one day, everything changes. A shocking act of violence turns her life upside down, and she begins to suspect that Terry sabotaged more than just the band. Chris hits the road, hoping to reunite Dirkwerk and confront the man who ruined her life. Her journey will take her from the Pennsylvania Rust Belt to a celebrity rehab center to a satanic music festival. A furious power ballad about never giving up, We Sold Our Souls is an epic journey into the heart of a conspiracy-crazed, pill-popping, paranoid country that seems to have lost its very soul. So I love the setting of this book being around metal music. I am not a metalhead at all. I listen to a little bit, but I'm definitely not a metalhead, to be clear. But I feel like music lovers of any genre can kind of appreciate one of the many messages of this book, but the one that really resonated with me, just being a music lover, the whole idea of kind of like selling your soul. So obviously there's kind of a metaphor here for Terry selling out. I don't know much about the metal world, but they kind of make a joke about nu metal. That's what he goes to do as opposed to like metal. He sells out to like a producer, you know, so his music isn't really going to be his own. So he sells out to that as opposed to sticking with Dirkwerk and, you know, making what they want to make and being 100% in charge of the creative process, essentially. He chooses to do like what's popular at the time as opposed to staying true to the band and staying true to their creativity, I guess. So that's where Chris comes in, because she loves her music so much. She just loves playing music in general and really misses her band. And there's an album that within the book that she writes completely herself, and it's called Troglodyte. But Terry pretty much had that album buried into obscurity so that nobody could ever find it. And it kind of becomes like the basis for this book, essentially. Give too much away about the album, but to me, I kind of saw it as a metaphor for like creativity in general, because she wrote the whole album herself. It came from her, it came from her heart. And it ends up being the weapon with which to fight Black Iron Mountain, which is kind of the the metaphor for the entity, that's all I'll say, that Terry sells their souls to. He doesn't sell his soul, he sells everybody else's, which I thought was also a really interesting twist. You don't necessarily have to like metal music to enjoy this book by any means. Once again, Hendrix is phenomenal at writing female characters. Like honestly, you see some of the ways like very super popular authors write about women or try and write from a woman's perspective, and just some of them fail beautifully and hilariously, but Hendrix really gives some other male authors a run for their money. Like he can write a female character so well, and I can relate to them so well, which is, I feel like, is a pretty tall order given the fact that I'm not very well versed in metal music. I'm not a musician, and I'm not the same age as Chris. Chris is older than me. I feel like I really shouldn't be able to relate to her that much, but I can. Like they're like her struggle, her, you know, like it says, like what's the summary say? She's tired, broke, and unhappy. I think a lot of people can really relate to that. No matter what else you like, you don't necessarily have to like metal music or be in your 40s like she is. I do like that she's a little bit older. I feel like there is a kind of tendency, especially in just like the regular fiction genre, not necessarily like mystery or romance or anything like that, but just kind of like regular fiction. I feel like there's a tendency when it comes to having a female character, I feel like they're almost always in their 20s and 30s, and most of the time, like, you very rarely find like a protagonist that's over the, you know, like that's in their 40s, 50s or up. Male characters, sure, you can definitely find some older male characters, but I don't know what it is. Like, there's just like this aversion to writing female characters that are a little bit older. I don't know if that's like a sexist sort of thing, like, you know, we like our women young or what, I don't know. So she's like, so I like that she's not this like young spring chicken kind of character. Like, she's still a badass, but she's got her aches and pains. You know, her hands are all calloused from playing guitar, and, you know, she's got like tinnitus in her left ear. She's like not this like spring chicken perfect model-y looking character. She's like a real fucking person. She's still portrayed as a badass, especially this other character, the only other character we really read from the point of view of, which is Melanie, who is a younger girl in her early 20s, and she's a huge fan of Coffin, which is the band that Terry starts after leaving Dirkwork. Especially towards the end, where Chris actually performs Troglodyte, Melanie is watching from the crowd, and, you know, there's this instance in the book where Melanie's like, she's glowing, she's just like just radiating this badass energy, and I love that. I loved that Chris is just kind of like this imperfect character. She's not like the young hot girl anymore, but she's still a fucking badass, and she's still just like this metal fucking goddess. I love it. The book is great. It's got enough twists and turns to keep you interested. It sounds kind of like a selling your soul to Satan book, but it doesn't play out exactly the way that you think it's going to. So it definitely keeps you on your toes, and has some genuinely terrifying scenes in here. Highly recommend. I give it a 5 out of 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the reviews from the Creepy Book Club. So I guess that's kind of, I don't know if that's a perk or not to joining the, the Creepy Book Club, you know. You can talk about the book, and your review will end up on this video review. First little review we have here is from Danielle Klassen. She says, I'll put her review up on the screen so you can pause and read it if you want to, but just quickly going over it, she says, I think this might be the best book that he's done so far. I really love the way he pulls you through the journey with Chris and how brutal he is with it, 100%. Like, he doesn't pull any punches. Chris definitely goes through the shit on this. Horror in it really is horrific, and you keep wondering how much more she can take. And then she gets up again, and you can't help but want to see her really get out there and be as badass as she is. I 100% agree. I think she's a great fucking character. She's definitely up there with like one of my new favorite book characters ever. I love her. And underneath that, Taylor mentioned it's so well written. I had to force myself to read through the part where Chris is crawling through the pipes and tunnels. Yeah, that was if you're claustrophobic, that scene in the book is really gonna get you. Also, when the van gets surrounded by rabid fans and basically rips JD apart. That's so brutal and so metal. It really is gory too. Like, there are some scenes that, yeah, it's like you just see it playing out in your head, like how brutal it is. It would definitely be like a splatter film, I could tell you. Wish we got to see more of Chris writing Troglodyte. Did she see the creatures while she was in the basement writing? Yeah. So like I said, Troglodyte is the album that Chris writes. Yeah, there is a whole like mythos behind it, which you aren't, as a reader, you aren't privy to 100% of it. So I agree that definitely would be interesting. Truly Troglodyte on her journey to take down the Blind King. Yeah, it's really interesting. Again, without giving too much away, the album, when she writes it, it's kind of like, it's almost like she was seeing the future, and the songs in the album mimic what she's going through on her journey to reconnect with Terry and get her life back, essentially. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the book, and I was rooting for Chris the entire time, especially when she was up on stage at the end and the crowd was chanting. I could almost feel the power of that crowd, and that shows just how good the writing is to feel so connected to the emotions and surroundings of the protagonist. 100% agree, especially since this is like a music-based book and you don't have any music to go off of. There's a couple of references to actual bands in the book, but obviously the band Dirkwerk is fictional, and the songs that they write and perform, their original songs, are fictional. Yeah, so that's, you know, that's kind of tough, especially when there are lyrics, you know, they mention the lyrics of Troglodyte in the book, and you don't really have a melody or any sort of music to put them to. And it's really powerful writing that you can still feel connected to it and still feel that power, like when you're at a concert, like just the power of the crowd and everybody connecting with this one song or multiple songs. It's hard to do that, I feel like, when you can't actually hear the music, but Hendrix pulls it off, so I 100% agree. Then Jackson Lovecraft, hopefully I said the first name right, Jackson, wrote, "Hi there, new to the book club, hi!" So glad I joined. This book was a great read, I couldn't put it down. How awesome would it be if it came with an album of songs to listen to while you're reading them? I was thinking the same thing when I was reading this book. I wish, like, Hendrix could have, like, and his team could have, like, you know, commissioned some metal band or something to write Troglodyte, essentially, or to put music to the lyrics of Troglodyte. I feel like that would be awesome. Again, because I'm not as well versed in metal, so I had a hard time kind of even just visualizing with my ears you know what I mean, how that would sound. I think that would be really rad if a band could put the lyrics of Troglodyte to music. That would just be like the most epic thing, to like read this book while listening to it, and oh my god, it would be so cool. I give this a 5 out of 5. Loved it. Hendrix is already working on a new book, which I'm just fucking stoked about. Goodreads in general, it has a 3.93 out of 5. On Barnes & Noble, it has a 3.7 out of 5. And then on Amazon, it has a 4.1 out of 5. And I saw that it is still available as an ebook for only $2. So if you don't mind reading an electronic book, all you need is the Kindle app. You don't actually need an actual Kindle tablet. So if you just have like an iPad or whatever, all you need is the Kindle app, and it's only $1.99 for this on ebook. So if my review interested you at all, you can get it super cheap. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description. I get a small kickback from it. You don't have to use that link, but it's there. Almost forgot to mention, hopefully if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen what our October book is, but this one is really short, so I know I'm announcing it, we're already into October, but you can definitely finish it in time. It's The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. Just based on like the little like blurb at the top, just based on this like little blurb at the top, and the fact that they quote Billy Loomis from Scream here at the bottom, this is a horror movie fan's book. I can already tell you, I haven't even finished reading it yet, and I can tell you this is if you are a fan of slashers, you want to read this book. So it's only 200 pages, so you can definitely read it before the end of October. Join the Creepy Book Club, leave your review. Yeah, and then I'll feature your review in my video of this. This video is probably long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. It's a great time to do so because we got tons of videos coming for you this month. Honestly, this is just the first week. It's tons of shit. My Patreon is also getting extra content this month too, so if you want to join at any level, you're going to get extra exclusive videos on top of what you normally would get. And if you join at the top tier, we're going to do a movie night every single week of this month. So if you join at the top level, you can hang out with us all month and watch horror Halloween movies. Okay, I'm gonna end this now. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.
This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed here. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep yourself, you can check out that link in the description. There's a whole bunch of fun links in the description, so you can follow me on all my social media, Goodreads, Letterboxd, all that good stuff. So make sure you check out the description box. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.